We need to get him to sign our Paddock 43 hats. That would be cool. But then we actually would look like the official Franco podcast.
This is Paddock 43, the podcast, your weekly rundown giving you all things F1 from both on and off the track.
From races, trades, rumours, the lifestyle, and all the things that come with the F1 world.
We are Amy, Elle, and Pat. Let's get into it.
Alrighty, guys, we are back. Not physically together, but we're back virtually.
We're all pretty happy. Well, yeah, we're all pretty happy. Some of us also unhappy, but happy.
You have two very happy McLaren fans over here.
I know. I'm also very happy.
I have my Oscar signed by Oscar.
Oh, that's great. I love that. I'm so happy for Oscar as well. I'm just frustrated at what happened in the race. But we are back. We're not back together physically. We are back on the comps. I'm in Barcelona. You are about to fly to Singapore, Amy. And Elle, you're at home celebrating your dog's 6th birthday. And yesterday, she won. Life is good.
Life is very good.
How are we doing?
Fabulous. I am frantically packing. Like frantic. I'm so my luggage is going to be like 30 kilos because I have to be up at 3:30 tomorrow morning to get a 7 a.m. flight. And I don't know why I did that to myself. It was the cheapest one. So I was like, well, that will do.
It's fine. You'll sleep on the flight. You'll sleep on the flight.
Yeah. I've got exit row and window, so that's lovely.
What's going on in the news? Should we kick it off?
Yeah, I think we need to dive into F1 because there's so much that we need to discuss. I think starting off with, though,
the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room. Franco, we need to have a discussion.
Oh.
So for anyone wondering what we're talking about, we are obviously Paddock 43. You know that because you clicked on this podcast and you're listening to it. But 43 was decided because Amy was like, what's our favorite numbers? And we were like, it added up to 43. And then we looked up and there was no 43 ever on the grid. And we thought, cool, we're on the grid. We're done.
That's us. It was our number to insert ourselves on the grid. And then Elle was watching. What were you watching? Was it practice or qualifying the other day?
Practice.
And realised that he has stolen the 43.
Can we ask
that? He's taken number 40.
Well, it's just like, are we now the official podcast for Franco Colapinto? Is that what we are now?
I think we need to do. We need to get Franco Colapinto on and discuss this. Yeah. Did you choose your number? Did you see our podcast and then pick your number?
It's a great number. But it's confusing as well because I thought that they continued their number from go-karting. So he was and all the way up. So in F2, he was number 12. If there's no 12 on the grid now, then surely you just continue that number.
You would think
because
so.
43 wasn't Logan Sargent's number. Yeah, 43 wasn't Logan Sargent's number. So they've full changed that car for him.
Well, I think if we ever get to meet him, we need to ask him the question, did you choose it because of us or you assigned this number? I think he chose it because of us.
He'd probably get really intimidated, like 3 girls talking to a, how old is he,
with
19?
With their Paddock 43 hats.
We need to get him to sign our Paddock 43 hats. That would be cool.
Oh,
but then we actually would look like the official Franco podcast.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe we do that. Maybe we just get all our hats and send them in.
Maybe we should get in touch with Williams as well and be like, hey, Williams, this is what's up.
Actually, you know what? That's going to be my goal for Singapore is to get Franco Colapinto to sign my hat.
Yes.
There you go.
Good one.
That's a good one.
Good one. And make sure you tell him, like, our next interview, you give us a shout out. But moving on, lots of swirlings happening in Red Bull at the moment.
There's always swirlings in Red Bull.
That is true. That is true.
Amy hates this conversation because it's a conversation that never ends.
I'm like, so which swirling is this one? God damn.
So this one is the fabulous Marco. He has come out again and he is saying a decision will be made before Singapore and it'll be announced before Singapore. So who knows? He said this before though.
Wait, we're still talking about Checo losing his seat.
I think it's more so to do with Visa Cash app.
Okay.
The swap.
It's quite funny as well, just because of how they performed on the weekend.
For those that haven't seen it, there are, I would say, rumblings, swirlings that there might be a trade imminent. The trade is Checo, Danny Ricciardo. It's interesting how, like, obviously we'll get into the race weekend, and we can discuss this in detail. But for those that didn't see it, Checo did crash out in the final lap, or in the second last lap, I think it was. And we'll get a take on whose fault it was, but he actually could have won the race, and he didn't. He crashed, and I think that's just been the final straw for I think it might be the final straw for Red Bull. So Marco is like, fuck you, Checo. But yeah, we'll get into that. Before Singapore. So we've got a few more days before we find out.
Yeah, Amy, you might be on the ground getting the live feed.
Yeah. I'll be running around psycho.
Reporting live with Marco.
Okay. I think before we get into the race, there's also the McLaren. I mean, you guys have got your McLaren orange on at the moment. The McLaren rumours as well.
Prioritizing Lando over Oscar for the Drivers' Championship. You know, like if everything goes right for Lando from now on, and everything goes so terribly wrong for Max, then I think he could take the Drivers' Championship. But the reality of that happening, and then what we saw this weekend, is that, well, Lando's not great at performing under pressure when the spotlight's on him.
And that's why Max came out and was even like, I don't think Lando's the number one driver. I think Oscar's the number one driver, which is a huge call to make, and also would be a very hard public call to make because he and Lando are such good friends. Yeah. That's not an easy comment to say. It is savage, but not easy. But it says a lot. And also, he's not wrong. Yeah. I don't think he's wrong. I think, yes, Lando is more up there with the Drivers' Championship, but Oscar's probably not far off as well.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And I don't think Max is going to be up there. I think he's going to stay in that, top 5 position for the rest of the year. He'll be lucky to get one more win, I reckon.
Do we think Charles could win the Drivers?
No.
Really?
I don't think he's got it in him. No. I think he might have one more race. He does have it in him. No, he doesn't.
He has it in him. His team doesn't have it in them.
That's where it's lacking.
If there was 15 races left, or like 20 races left, and Max is in the position he's in, and like Ferrari and McLaren are doing as well as they are, then I think Charles could win the Drivers' Championship. But we've got like 7 races left. So I don't know.
Time will tell, but I think we should get into the race weekend. That was Azerbaijan. Oh, my Lord. Best race of the season or what?
The best race ever? Possibly.
Best race ever.
I was thinking that. Oscar's drive, I was like, I think that's one of the best drives I've ever seen.
The whole
way
thing.
He was just so aggressive, and the way he was defending Charles Leclerc, I did not think he was going to be able to hold him off, and he did, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It was
a great drive.
Fantastic racing from everyone. I mean, poor Yuki got the DNF because he copped a side pod damage again, second time in a row. But Lance Stroll was punctured.
I was laughing because Elle last week was like, oh, Visa Cash App, they're going to do well. Next minute, Yuki's just out.
Daniel did all right. He climbed two. I mean, he climbed 2 spots because of the crash that happened. But maybe we should get into that. Yeah. Maybe we should get into how Oscar won.
This is the thing. I think like Oscar won because he drove incredibly. And I think regardless of the crash, I think if the crash hadn't happened, there could have been a chance that win could have been taken from him. I think Checo could have won.
Do you think?
I think he could have had a chance. Yeah. Yep.
Nah, he was still too far behind.
Yeah. There was really only 2 laps left by the time all that started happening.
And Oscar was gaining half a second each lap on them as well. There was way too much time distance.
But also their tires were wearing. Both their tires, both Charles and Oscar's tires were wearing out.
Yeah.
So I knew something was going to happen. Well, actually, before we do chat about the race, I think we should chat about just quickly getting into quali. Leclerc got pole. It was his 4th consecutive pole at Baku. It was also his 4th pole that he hasn't converted into a win this year, so that's cool.
I thought it was at Baku, his 4th pole at Baku.
Yeah, 4th pole at Baku.
Yeah,
4th pole
also
at Baku.
4th pole this year that he 4th pole at Baku and 4th pole this year that he hasn't converted into a win.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Chatting about Franco earlier, but how amazing did he do in quali as well?
Oh, I was shocked. How did he out-qualified Alex Albon, didn't he?
He did out-qualify Alex Albon. Yeah, he came 9th. Ollie Behrman as well. I know we were sort of talking about the rookies last week, and we have to mention them, but also Ollie qualified 11th. Amazing.
Hey, speaking of Ollie as well, have you seen the new record that Ollie set?
Oh,
it's the only time this record's been set as well. Ollie is a new record. Ollie is the very first F1 driver to score points for 2 different teams in the 1 year. In the only 2 F1 races he's also done.
Good on him.
Quite impressive. Very impressive by him.
Yeah.
But then, I did put that on our TikTok, but then someone did comment and was like, he only got points because of Checo. And I was like, well, it wasn't Checo's fault, but we'll get into that. But
Checo and Carlos.
There's still points.
And also, that's racing. Racing is unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. Like goddamn George Russell, once again, benefits off someone else's error.
I know.
Like, how does he keep doing this?
I know.
It's actually kind of annoying because he has this little smug face, and I'm like, get over yourself.
Thank you. Like, dude, you did nothing. You did nothing that entire race except just plod along nice and close, comfortably behind everyone. Then there's a crash in front of you, and of course you benefit from it.
He just complained the whole time as well. Non-stop he complained.
Complaining a lot.
Yeah, Hamilton didn't want to even drive that car. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were expecting more from that Mercedes. I think in practice that they did pretty well. But, we spoke about it last week that they had upgrades this weekend. And, we saw a Mercedes on the podium, but it wasn't for the reasons that they should have been on the podium.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Stephen Bradbury of F1.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. So us Aussies, right? We love the Stephen Bradbury reference because it's an Australian iconic reference. But anyone overseas doesn't understand it.
Yeah.
And I used that reference at Silverstone when Paddock 43 was on stage talking, and it was just met with silence. And then when we got off the stage, the producers at the back, they were like, what does that even mean? And I was like, never heard of it. I asked other people, they're like, what? And I was like, oh, that's awkward.
Some other memorable moments for you guys?
Definitely Lando's qualifying performance. That was abysmal. Why did they wait so long to let him go on his flying lap? Why do they keep doing this? I was like, if he had more time, he probably would have got a flying lap in and he would have probably been on pole position. Sorry. But you never know. They held him in, and then – because what happened on his lap? Was it Ocon? Then there was a yellow flag for a brief moment, and there was a white flag, and then he butchered his corner.
So what happened was, yes, there was a brief touch on the wall from someone. I think it was Ocon, and I think they thought there's going to be a quick yellow flag. I think they thought there was some damage, and then they immediately took that back and to say it was all clear. And in that moment when they took it back, McLaren hadn't realised that, and so signalled to Lando yellow flag. So he didn't do the right thing, and he fucked up his whole lap. And it was all just such bad timing.
Yeah, very bad luck. And then in his post race, he went straight into the media pen after. I was watching, I was like, did he run there? Did he just run to the media pen? Yeah. And like, he seemed really upset, obviously, but that was the most positive I've heard him talk ever.
You're okay?
Like, yeah, like it happens.
He was
I guess I made a mistake. Like,
pretty savage after the race, though. He made some pretty dicky comments, being like, I should have won that. I could have won that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, his comments that he's making at the moment are really off-putting him as a competitor and a fan base trying to support him, because it's like, I don't want to hear that.
No. But also the fact, like, Lando, you climbed from 16th to 4th.
Yeah. It was excellent driving by him.
That is, that's fantastic driving. Again, we've spoken about this before. He lacks emotional intelligence, and love you, Lando, but you do. And I think he's really unable to accept that Oscar is doing better than he is. Yeah. And that's why he's being like such a dick and such a brat about it. And he really needs to go speak to someone to like get that sorted, to like get on top of those emotions, because life is like this. There are going to be people that are better than you at things, and especially in such a competitive sport, you need to learn how to accept that and just focus on your own race and on yourself. Because
it's like he's focusing too much on what Oscar's doing rather than his own 100%. Performance. Like how it comes across. It's like, you can control what you can control. So control yourself.
And Lando, no, you couldn't have won that race from 16th. Like, I'm sorry, but you've barely struggled. You've struggled to win a race from like 4th or 5th. How are you going to win a race from 16th?
Yeah, like you're not Max Verstappen.
Exactly.
Imagine if he did.
That would be
so look, funny. If he did, that would be amazing. And look, he's a very talented driver, and he could. But there was too much competition going on at the front of the race for that to happen. And you came 4th because of the crash. So,
yeah.
Anyway, sorry about my rant.
We love a good rant. But then also, like, within that top 4, the biggest surprise for me was Checo. Like, where did you come from? Why have you just decided? Like, he's so good around Baku. Like, he's phenomenal. Like, you've been so bad all year. And everyone's like, you're losing your seat. Then all of a sudden, he just sends it in Baku, almost gets a podium until he has a nice little incident with Carlos Sainz, which we should discuss.
Look,
because that hurt.
I'm not happy.
I'm not happy either.
Look, I'm not happy. I was watching the race at, there's like a sports bar around the corner from my auntie's house. Peter and I went. And I was literally screaming. I slammed my phone out. I was like, no. And like Peter's favorite driver is Carlos Sainz as well. Funny that. And he was so pissed off as well. And I was like, 100% it's Checo's fault. And he's like, oh. Afterwards, he's like, I'm not sure. I think it was as well.
So for anyone that doesn't know what happened, it was the most epic battle between Charles, Carlos, and Checo. And it was the last 3 laps. And they were all fighting for second and third. There could have been someone contending for first, but I don't believe it. I don't think we already said that. It was just the most intense battle. But I believe this crash was Carlos's fault.
Yeah. I think it was I feel like it was more a racing incident. Like they both could have done things differently, but Carlos definitely had more room.
I agree. I agree with that. That they're both at fault, but Carlos should have seen how much room there was to the left of him before he moved to the left and looked at the pace
there was
that
no
Checo
room.
was
He
going.
was like, and I turned, that meme where he's like, and I turn now.
Yeah, it's literally what Carlos did. And Checo was already in his, like, on his back wheel on the side of him. Like, Checo couldn't have done anything. Checo's trying to obviously move to the right to get more space, because he knows he's behind Carlos, and Carlos has just done something silly. It was just the most devastating crash to watch.
Yeah.
Especially
it was
on, like,
devastating.
the last lap. On, like, one of the last laps, you've gone 49 laps. You put in all that, like, mental energy, physical energy is draining, and then you crash, and you're like, well, I was all that for nothing.
What? I mean, I knew it wasn't going to happen because it was lap 50 or 51. I was like, oh my God, what if they actually deploy an actual safety car for this? This could cause so much drama. They can't, because it's the last lap. Remember when this happened in Australia as well? Similar situation. They just keep going, or they call the race. So I was like, that's going to happen. But if there was probably another 1 or 2 more laps, they would have. And then Charles could have put on new tyres, because that's why he was moving so far back from Oscar. And if he got new tyres on, maybe he could have contended to take Oscar.
I don't reckon wouldn't have got him with new tyres, because they wouldn't be.
You don't reckon? But both would have put on softs. Both would have chucked softs on because they were both edging.
Yeah, if they both put new tyres on, then yeah. But if one kept them.
Like, I don't think they both would have kept them. They both wore those tyres. They drove those tyres to the ground.
They were basically driving on rims.
Yeah.
The frustrating thing as well, though, is Carlos had just overtaken Checo, and sorry, I think as well, I mean, yes, it has, the FIA have come out and said that it was a racing incident, but the thing as well is that wall, that it's such a tight little corner, and when you kind of hug that wall, you naturally bounce off the wall a little bit, which is why I think Carlos was bouncing off the wall, and yes, I'm biased, whatever. But oh God, it was very frustrating. It was very, very, very frustrating. But it also did, I don't know, I could feel in my bones that something was going to happen as well. I was just frustrated that is what happened.
Yeah.
Because I
do you remember last
a 1-2,
how I was saying, I had a feeling, because like I said, it was Lando and Oscar that were going to end up crashing. But how I thought there was going to be a crash, well, it wasn't them. It wasn't Lando and Oscar. It was Checo and Carlos instead.
Yep. Well, the poll that we did, I put up a poll. I was like, do we think that Checo is going to choke? And basically everyone said yes.
I did think that was funny that everyone said that he was going to choke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Checo. No one has faith in him anymore.
Yeah. I love how someone's like, choke, especially if Max catches up.
Yeah. Max is scary.
Well, we've got to talk about the silent creature of Alex Albon as well this weekend, because
silent. He was just silent.
A bit of both. Well, in the race, he was just sort of lurking there, like looking like he was ready to pounce on any moment, and he just missed his opportunity. But Williams qualifying, what a fuck up! Like, are they okay?
One of your biggest fuck ups.
Yes, and I felt like, I mean, Oscar's obviously such a brilliant driver that he's in front and he can see it happening because he's so aware of everything going around him, and so he's the one that called it. But then Alex is, pulls over to the side. He's trying to get the marshal to help, and the marshal's like, I can't touch your car or you get disqualified. So Alex is trying to lift it up above him whilst he's in the fucking cockpit, and there's dry ice falling out of it. And the marshal's like, just throw it. And Alex is like, I can't.
It's so hard. And like, imagine having all the dry ice behind you as well.
Like
did you see the footage of when it happened?
Yes, and he nearly knocked over the driver as well. Not the driver, the engineer.
Who gave him the okay to drive out? And the poor mechanic was trying to like run after him. I was like, you're not going to catch him. Like, why are you running after him?
Someone's getting fired.
I mean, it'd be kind of sad if you got fired just for that.
You probably would, though. And then did you see Oscar's comments as well in the cool down room? Well, this is going back more to like the battle between Carlos and Checo. Oscar's like,
yeah,
in very proper English, might I add, he goes, they weren't being the best of friends this weekend, were they? And they really put an end to that.
You're not wrong, my friend. You're not wrong.
I can't imagine him saying that.
It was really
I'll have
funny.
to go find the clip.
I can.
I love little comments.
I can for sure. Hey, it's the interesting with McLaren. So yeah, obviously, I mean, we've spoken about. So Oscar won. That battle between him and Charles was epic. Congratulations to McLaren, first time in the lead since 2014. So it's great to see another team is actually leading the constructors as well.
Yeah.
Red Bull had previously led the constructors for 55 races. They've been leading.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
Well, thank God.
Another fun fact that I saw as well, actually, was Colapinto has scored more in 2 races than Sargent did in 2 years.
Insane.
Boom. Amy forever defending Logan.
Defending him beyond the Formula One grave of an ex-driver. But Colapinto, he is such a good driver. I hope he gets a seat at some point. I don't know where he would go. I don't see him going to Sauber.
He will.
Williams will definitely try to hold on to him unless Sauber pay a lot of money. Audi, Sauber, whatever, I don't know. Kick.
It must be that number 43.
Lucky 43. Lucky
so.
43. How beautiful, though, was our gal, Nicole.
Oh,
Very
she
proud of
looks
her son.
so happy and excited.
And did
you know what pissed me off?
There?
Do you know what pissed me off was when Lando didn't even say hi to Nicole. I saw Nicole.
I
kind
saw
of
that. I thought he was walking over to hug her, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't even say hi. He wasn't like, oh, like thanks, hi. He just
I know that doesn't
weird.
gel with me because you guys know. I mean, I love talking to people's parents. I'm one of those people when I'd be at my friends' parties, I would always chat to their parents. So I'm like, where is come on, Lando. Come on.
Be better. Be better, do better.
Have a nice relationship with your teammates' mum. And yes, Elle has noticed something that I didn't notice, but now I've noticed it.
Ooh, where was Lily?
Well, I mean, there weren't many partners in Azerbaijan.
Yeah, but Oscar's mum was there. And she doesn't go to many races.
Yeah, so interesting that she was all the way in Azerbaijan.
I was thinking, like, if she's not in Singapore, then that will definitely be the true telltale sign. But I was thinking, like, now that he's won and he's on a high, is he just going to be like, I'm also a daddy? Like, but we are in Singapore this weekend. Woohoo! Back-to-back street circuits. Especially exciting for you, Ames, because you will be there.
Be there. I can't even remember what grandstand, what ticket we got.
Regardless, I'm so excited for you. I love Singapore. The food there is phenomenal. The vibes, whilst the F1 is on, is amazing. You are going to have the best time, and you will be reporting for us.
Yes, I'm basically going to be nocturnal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but that's what Singapore is like. It's just, it's so humid and delicious, and I'm very excited for you. Yeah, but do we have predictions?
I think Oscar's going to take it out again.
I was going to say, I think it's Oscar, Lando, Carlos.
And I think I'm going to jump on Tom. I'm going to jump on Tom's idea. And I don't usually bet on the F1. I am known to have a dally in a multi or the horses. And Tom put $50 on Oscar winning at $11 odds. And I think I'm going to join him.
Nice. Nice.
Well done. Well done, Tom.
What are you doing, Pat?
No, I actually think the exact same. I think there will be a battle with Oscar and Lando, and I'm thinking, well, I think a similar prediction to Amy. I think Carlos will get a podium, hopefully, because he did win the race last year.
He's
do
good
we
at
think,
Singapore.
though, that there could be a battle and that Lando could lose his cool and potentially fuck things up for McLaren as a whole?
Yeah,
maybe
100%.
Yeah,
probably.
So, yeah, but yeah, exciting
Very
week coming up. But Elle, you have some random thoughts of the week?
Yes. So we haven't discussed this before, and it caught my attention the other day. And why have we not? Why have we discussed Otma's Instagram? Can you guys just go jump on it right now? I'd like live reactions.
As in Otmar Schaffnauer, that one?
Oh. Loves. Oh. Do we think he's now just taking the piss?
Yeah, as in Otma's like, is he? So if for anyone that hasn't seen it before, I encourage you to type in on Instagram right now, Otmar, Otmar F1, and look for yourself. It popped up like one of the photos on my discovery feed, and I was like, ew, who is that? And I didn't mean to make it sound like that, but it reminded me of someone that's creepy that's in my DMs been like, hey, baby, want a sugar daddy? And then I clicked on his Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, it's everywhere.
I think it might be a piss take. I think it might be a piss take because if you scroll down to all his Aston Martin photos and then Alpine photos, they're just normal professional photos that he has. And now it's like he wants to make the creepy selfie his...
I don't know if it is a piss take. It's giving creepy single dad that's going to slide into your DMs.
Look at the one from the 25th of December 2023. He says, Merry Christmas. Obviously his son with a Schaffner t-shirt on. It says, Merry Christmas, everyone received t-shirts this year. And his son has a t-shirt with his dad's face on it.
It's a lot. Anyway, I'll let you guys make up your own minds about that. But then I've been thinking about Lewis Hamilton joining Ferrari and also the Ferrari fashion collection. And for people that don't know, Ferrari has their own fashion line, which is it's supposed to be very technical, couture type gear. It's kind of a bit dorky in a way. They have appeared at New York Fashion Week and Milan Fashion Week, and they've definitely tried to get out there and have the right influences on board. And I reckon Lewis is going to make a massive dive into this and really make an impact on Ferrari in terms of the Ferrari line.
Thank God.
And I think there's a really exciting opportunity. Yeah. I can see Lewis being like, when I stop driving, I want to stay with Ferrari and like run this collection. And maybe that's something that he does, especially with, different types of people all over the world.
Yeah.
I can see that
definitely, because we already see like what impact he has on fashion in F1. It's like, what is he going to be able to do if he collaborates with Ferrari?
Yeah,
because who did he sign with recently? Is it Dior? No,
Dior.
It was Dior. Yeah. There'll be like a Dior ex Ferrari.
Oh, that would be awesome.
With Lewis, something cool like that.
That would be great.
I'll buy it. I'll sell my soul.
Good call.
I do for everything.
Very good call. Very good call.
Love it.
Very good call.
But yeah, just my random thoughts of the week.
Yeah,
sure is from me.
Yes.
And just a side note, if anyone sees me in Singapore, come say hi.
Yes, please.
I want to meet people.
Yes.
Please and thank
you.
For
sure.
Thank you.
You will be representing for us. So, yes, please go and say hi to Amy.
We can get some photos, film some content, do all the fun stuff.
Love it.
Fun thing.
Awesome. Well, I think is that everything we've got time for this week?
Sure is.
I think so, because I need to finish packing and go to bed.
Yes.
I have to be up in 8 hours. Outrageous.
You do. All right, girls. RIP to you, but have a safe flight. And
thank you.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back in your ears next week. We hope you love this race as much as what we did, and bring on Singapore.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.